You think you're in control, but look closer. Every time you text first, explain yourself, overthink their silence, you're not leading, you're submitting. Every time you argue to prove your worth, you're already beneath the person who made you argue. That's the illusion. You believe your emotions are your own, when in truth, they're being pulled. The world doesn't reward emotion, it feeds on it. The more you react, the weaker you become. Because reaction is dependence, and dependence is control. The reason people ignore you isn't because you lack value, it's because you leak energy. You reveal what matters to you, and once they see it, they own it. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about never showing what controls you. The quiet man who smiles when insulted terrifies the manipulator. The woman who doesn't chase an explanation breaks the game. When you master the art of saying nothing, the world finally listens. Detachment is not indifference. It is awareness without surrender. It is the moment you realize that emotion is leverage, and you choose not to give it away. The strongest people you know, the ones who seem unshakable, they aren't emotionless. They simply refuse to bleed energy into situations that don't deserve it. Every reaction costs you power. Every argument exposes your weakness. Every explanation screams need. Detachment is the art of letting the world spin without chasing it. You stop defending yourself. You stop proving your worth. You stop explaining to people who already made up their minds. Instead, you watch. You study. You let silence become your sword. Because silence isn't passive, it's preparation. When you detach, you stop being predictable, and unpredictability is the most feared form of control. Power is perception. It's not about strength. It's about who controls the emotional tempo. In every interaction, one person leads, and the other reacts. The one who reacts first loses. When you rush to fill silence, when you justify yourself, when you answer immediately, you surrender control of the frame. The other person becomes the observer, and the observer always has power. Human psychology runs on a primitive rule. We respect what we can't predict. That's why mystery creates attraction, why silence creates fear, why calmness feels like dominance. When someone insults you and you stay still, they feel a void they can't control. Their mind scrambles to fill it. Their confidence fades. Because power doesn't shout, it waits. Detachment is psychological warfare. You are teaching people that your attention is earned, not taken. That your emotion is sacred, not free. Once people realize they can't move you, they start moving for you. Manipulators survive on reaction. It's their oxygen. The moment you stop reacting, they start suffocating. Watch closely. When they can't provoke you, they switch tactics. First, they mock your calm. Then they question your silence. Then they panic because the game they built no longer works. They need you angry. They need you emotional. Because emotion is information. It tells them where to strike. But when you become unreadable, when your face gives nothing, when your tone never breaks, they lose access to your system. Their power fades, not because you fought back, but because you stopped playing. Detachment isn't revenge, it's exposure. It forces the manipulator to face their own emptiness.
without your energy to feed on. That's when control shifts, not with noise, not with dominance, but with the stillness of someone who has mastered himself. There comes a moment when everything slows down, the noise, the tension, the pull to react. It all fades. You stop chasing explanations. You stop over-analyzing words. You stop caring about being understood. That's the transformation, the moment when peace becomes your armor. When your silence starts speaking louder than anyone's voice, people begin to treat you differently. They hesitate before speaking. They measure their words, adjust their tone, question their approach, because they can feel your control. Not the fake kind that shouts, but the kind that simply is. You stop living in other people's rhythm, and for the first time, they start following yours. This is the paradox of power. The more you detach, the more you attract. The less you react, the more people respect. Because silence is not the absence of noise, it's the presence of power. Throughout history, the most powerful men shared one thing in common: stillness. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet wrote of peace. Miyamoto Musashi fought 100 duels, but spoke of silence. Alexander conquered worlds, not by shoutings, but by moving first and speaking last. Power doesn't rush. Power doesn't chase. Power waits. The stoic, the warrior, the strategist, all mastered the same art: emotional control. The weak live in reaction. The strong live in rhythm. They understand the game so deeply that they no longer need to play it. When you detach, you join their lineage. You move from the chaos of need into the calm of command. You stop being a man among men and become a force among noise. Power isn't built on dominance, it's built on discipline. The world reacts to patterns: your tone, your timing, your silence. Every powerful person follows the same framework, even if they don't realize it. Step 1. Restraint. Never speak to prove, speak to confirm. When they insult you, stare, not to intimidate, but to observe. Their ego will expose itself faster than any confession ever could. Step 2. Mystery. Never over-explain your intentions. Let people wonder where your attention goes. Attention is currency, and when you spend less, you earn more. Step 3. Presence. Walk slowly. Breathe deeply. When you enter a room, don't rush to exist in it. Let the silence introduce you before your words ever do. Step 4. Detachment. The one who reacts first loses, because reaction is control transferred. They will test you through provocation, flirtation, or silence. You'll want to prove you're unaffected. Don't just be unaffected. When they raise their voice, lower yours. When they walk away, stand still. When they hide emotions, reveal none. This is not arrogance, it's awareness. Power isn't the ability to manipulate others. It's the ability to remain unmoved while they try. Say nothing, feel nothing. Watch how they obey. Do you feel it now? That silence inside your chest? That still pulse behind your eyes? That's not emptiness, that's command. The moment you stopped chasing, the world began to move around you. People sense it. They can't explain why your presence feels heavier, but calmer. You no longer need to demand respect. It begins to arrive unannounced. You no longer crave validation, because your silence is validation. You've become something different now, not a man reacting to the world, but a force shaping it. Remember this: the less you respond, the louder your presence becomes. Power doesn't shout, power doesn't perform. Power simply is. Every human interaction is a mirror. People don't see you, they see the reflection of how you react to them. When you stay silent, you interrupt their mirror. Their mind begins to project. They wonder, what is he thinking? Did I say something wrong? Does he see through me? That uncertainty is power, because uncertainty breeds obsession. Psychologically, we chase what we cannot define. The brain seeks closure. It needs an answer. So when you stay unreadable, others begin to solve you like a puzzle. They study your expressions. They adapt their tone. They subconsciously adjust to your rhythm. And that's the hidden mechanism of dominance. Control through calibration. Power is not control over others. It's the art of being so centered that others calibrate themselves around you. The quiet man becomes the reference point. The one who feels nothing becomes the one everyone feels around. That's the psychology of silence. The invisible gravity that bends attention, emotion, and action toward you. Don't try to become powerful. Behave like power. The following rules are not tricks. They are discipline in motion. If you live by them for 21 days, you'll begin to feel the shift. Rule 1. Speak last. In every discussion, let everyone exhaust their noise. When you finally speak, every word will land heavier. Rule 2. Maintain neutral eyes. Never dart your gaze. Never seek approval. The man who looks loses. The man who observes rules. Rule 3. Control your pace. Walk slower than your surroundings. Slowness signals certainty. It trains others to adapt to your rhythm, not the other way around. Rule 4. Master micro-expressions. Slight nods instead of smiles. Calm breaths instead of reactions. Stillness replaces approval. Rule 5. Create silence daily. Spend 10 minutes without sound, movement, or phone. This is where the nervous system learns dominance, through peace, not pressure. Rule 6. Withhold unnecessary emotion. The more emotion you display, the more power you leak. Express only when it serves intention, not impulse. These rules are your armor. Live by them quietly. You'll notice how quickly the world adjusts. People will start speaking differently around you. They'll soften, hesitate, even justify themselves without realizing why. Because power, when integrated, doesn't need announcement. It radiates, invisible, unbreakable, unmoved. When you master silence, you stop chasing power, and power begins chasing you. You become untouchable, unshaken by praise, unbothered by insult. People will call it arrogance, but it's not. It's presence. Presence that bends the room without words. Presence that makes the loud go quiet. Presence that makes even chaos pause, because it senses something greater. The world doesn't respect those who talk about control. It respects those who embody it. You don't argue with noise. You stand still. You don't prove your worth. You let time prove it for you. That's when people begin to obey, not because you demand it, but because your energy commands it. The weak explain themselves, the powerful don't. So from this moment on, when emotion rises, pause. When doubt screams, pause. When others expect reaction, pause. Because the pause is the throne, and the one who controls it controls the world. Say nothing, feel nothing, watch how they obey. You've just entered a new level of self-mastery. Welcome to Mentis Mind.